This is bigger than you think. Archangel Michael speaks. Your wealth transfer. Prepare tonight. My child, my beloved. I have waited for this very night to speak to you because heaven whispered your name and the light around your spirit turned gold. You may not realize it yet, but this moment is not ordinary. It is the beginning of something divine that was written long before you were born. I come to tell you something you won't believe at first. Your name has been written in the scroll of divine wealth transfer, not material greed, not worldly riches alone, but the abundance that carries heaven's signature, wealth that carries purpose, healing, and destiny. My child, listen closely because time is moving faster now. There is something being prepared for you tonight. Something that can only reach you if your heart opens. Don't look away. Don't skip this message. Because heaven measures attention as faith. If your spirit feels a pull right now, that's not imagination. That's me standing near you. You were chosen for this revelation and your confirmation will arrive before dawn. You'll feel it in your chest. That quiet warmth that is heaven's code unlocking inside you. Before I continue, beloved, make a promise that you'll stay till the end of this message. Heaven releases light through attention. And this one is for you alone. If you leave halfway, the river will close. But if you stay, the flow begins tonight. My child, this is bigger than you think. While the world sleeps, angels have been signing transfer scrolls. Names are being sealed. Destinies are being unlocked. And your name, your very name, has been spoken by those in charge of divine redistribution. For months, heaven has been observing your patience. Your quiet tears, your battles, no one saw. Your heart that kept believing even when everything was taken. You didn't know it then, but your endurance became the seed of your wealth. Now that seed is opening, and it's happening tonight. You've been tested with delay so heaven could measure your strength. You've walked through scarcity so the blessing wouldn't break you when it comes. And now I, Michael, the one who stands before the throne, bring this decree. The delay is lifted. The divine transfer begins. Pause now. Breathe deeply and understand this truth. The blessing is not random, it's recompense. Everything you lost, everything stolen, every betrayal, it's being multiplied sevenfold. But to receive it, you must be awake in spirit. Because heaven's transfer never lands in distracted hearts. My beloved, I see your doubts. You've heard promises before. You've waited and seen nothing. But this is not another human prophecy. This comes from the Council of Restoration. They have written your story again. Only this time your name glows. And if you are reading this now, that means the portal is open. This message was released only to those who were ready to receive. There are thousands who will scroll past it. But only the chosen few will feel that burning in their chest. That's heaven's way of saying you're next. Beloved, hear me clearly. This transfer isn't about luck. It's about alignment. When your heart aligns with heaven, everything starts moving in your direction. Opportunities find you. Lost money returns. Closed doors unlock without explanation. That's how you'll know this message was real. So tonight, prepare yourself because heaven doesn't bless chaos. Clean your space, light your faith, and expect the wind to move. The angels of transition have already left the throne room. Their wings carry your portion. And I, Michael, among them. Now listen carefully, my child. Before this transfer touches the earth, a test always arrives. A distraction will appear. Someone may offend you, or fear may whisper that you're unworthy. Don't react. Don't fall. Because that moment decides whether you hold the blessing or watch it pass. My beloved, remember this. Faith is the currency of heaven. Not gold, not coins, not applause. Faith, quiet, fierce, unshaken faith. If you hold that tonight, you hold the vault key. Take this as your divine instruction. Stay in peace for the next 12 hours. Do not argue. Do not complain. Do not speak words of lack. Because angels record every sound you release. If you speak faith, heaven multiplies it. If you speak fear, heaven waits. This is your moment to shift dimensions. Don't say someday. Say now, because the scroll with your name is dated tonight. The hand of God moves at midnight, and when it moves everything changes. Beloved, before I go deeper, listen. Subscribe to Messages of Light. Stay connected to the words that lift you, because every time you return to the voice of heaven, a new layer of blessing is unlocked. You are not here by chance. You were guided. And heaven rewards the ones who stay. Now let's go further. You think this is about money, but it's much more. This is about authority, about heaven trusting you with influence, favor, and restoration. You were meant to be a carrier of divine wealth, not just in your hands, but in your words. When this transfer hits, doors will open you didn't even knock on. People who ignored you will seek your voice. Systems that denied you will begin to shift in your favor, because heaven has decided you have been faithful long enough. Beloved, I saw you praying for breakthrough. You said, God, just one sign. And heaven answered, send Michael with the message. That's why you're here. Not by algorithm, by alignment. The wealth transfer is not coming to those chasing gold. It's coming to those carrying purpose. And that's you. Your spirit radiates truth. Your patience has been your proof. That's why heaven picked you. Now listen to this prophetic moment. When you finish this message, there will be a sign. It might be a call, an email, or an unexpected opportunity. Something that proves heaven has already started moving. It may seem small at first, but it's the seed of something monumental. Do not dismiss small beginnings. Every miracle starts disguised as ordinary. Even manna first fell like dew, so expect your dew tonight. Expect the whisper of change. My child, my beloved, you have reached the hour of unveiling. What once felt like loss was actually preparation. What looked like silence was heaven building your stage. And now the curtains are lifting. You are not forgotten. You are being remembered. The angels have spoken your name 3 times before the throne. Each time the light grew stronger, and when it reached fullness, heaven said, release it. That's why you found this, you were meant to. Because tonight, the wealth of heaven is crossing dimensions to find you. Not through greed, through grace. My child, my beloved, the wind of heaven is moving even now as you read these words. There's a shift happening around your name. Unseen but unstoppable. Every angel in my army has been instructed to clear your path. Every obstacle that mocked your faith is being overturned tonight. I tell you the truth, this is not imagination. This is the moment your season of lack meets the mercy of abundance. The divine books have been opened and your page shines brighter than gold. You were never forgotten. You were being positioned. Do you remember the nights you cried quietly, saying, God, why them and not me? Heaven heard that. And while you waited, heaven gathered what would have broken you if it came too soon. Now that your spirit is ready, what you once begged for will start chasing you. Beloved, this transfer is not of coins. It is of authority. When heaven gives you wealth, it gives you voice. People will begin to listen when you speak. Doors will sense your presence and unlock before your hand reaches them. This is the favor that moves mountains without noise. Something is being rewritten in your destiny file right now. I see new lines glowing with divine ink. It says restoration complete. Every area where you were robbed, heaven is returning, it multiplied. But there's one condition. Your faith must remain steady. I must tell you this, my child, before the miracle, the counterfeit always shows up. A false offer, a wrong person, a tempting shortcut. Don't rush into what shines. Wait for what glows. What glows carries God's fingerprint. That's the one you'll recognize by peace, not pressure. Tonight, heaven is exchanging your old identity for the one written in the book of abundance. You are being reintroduced to creation. Even the elements will begin to respond differently to you. Where doors once closed, they will now call your name. Beloved, you may feel unqualified, that's exactly why you were chosen. Heaven doesn't pick the polished. It picks the prepared. Your humility has drawn the divine signature. Every humble act became a deposit in your heavenly account. Now heaven is cashing it out on your behalf. You will notice the shift through signs. An unexpected message, a reconciliation, a dream that feels too vivid to ignore. These are not coincidences. They are confirmations. Your wealth transfer has begun to ripple across dimensions. You may ask, why me? Because your heart did not change when nothing was happening. Because you gave when you had little. Because you loved when others withdrew. Heaven cannot ignore that kind of light. Now, my beloved, prepare your vessel. Abundance without structure becomes waste. Clean your inner house. Forgive the one who hurt you. Release the fear of starting again. You must make room for what's about to arrive. Because what's coming is not a blessing you can hide. It's one that will overflow. As I speak, a line of angels stands around you. Each carries something. Opportunity, healing, restoration, revelation. They're waiting for your agreement. Say quietly now, I am ready. The moment you say that, heaven marks it as consent. Don't underestimate what can happen overnight. Heaven does in hours what man can't achieve in years. Before dawn, the energy around your name will shift. you'll sense a strange calm. That's the sign it has begun. My beloved, the scroll in my hand glows with your timeline. I see stages of fulfillment, not all at once, but in waves. First comes clarity, then movement, then multiplication. You will not need to chase anymore. You will attract by alignment. When this message ends, don't return to doubt. Speak as if it's done. Move as if it's already yours, because heaven honors motion. Not waiting but walking in trust. And remember, each time you return to hear the voice of light, more revelation opens. So stay connected. Subscribe to the words that stir your soul. Heaven, keep speaking through the same channel that called you today. That's your divine link. Guard it, because through it more will be delivered. Now breathe again, my child. A gentle shift is happening in your atmosphere. Can you feel it? Your name has been cleared from debts in the spirit. The blockages that delayed you have been removed. What once resisted you now recognizes you. Beloved, I will continue this revelation. My child, my beloved, you are entering the moment where the unseen begins to become seen. This is where spirit meets substance, where prayer becomes proof. You have heard about divine transfer. Now you will see how it moves from heaven's decree into your physical world. Listen closely, because the next few lines carry power. They are not words, they are keys. And once they enter your spirit, they unlock what's been waiting behind the veil for years. The wealth transfer begins in 3 stages, beloved, and it has already begun. The first stage is alignment. This happens when heaven adjusts your frequency to match your assignment. It may feel like sudden restlessness, like old desires falling away, or like silence that forces you inward. That is not emptiness. It is positioning. The noise of the world must quiet before the voice of heaven becomes clear. During alignment, people will start to drift away. Some you thought were loyal will disappear. Don't chase them. Their departure is not loss, it's clearance. Heaven removes what cannot hold your next level. Every absence now creates space for divine presence later. The second stage is activation. This is when signs begin to follow you. Unplanned calls, unexpected deposits, sudden recognition. These are not random. They are signals that your name has been whispered in places you haven't walked yet. Heaven begins to push your influence ahead of your feet. During activation, your dreams will intensify. You will see numbers repeating, lights flickering, songs that echo your secret prayers. These are confirmations. Heaven is showing you that the energy of abundance has entered your field. Respond to it with gratitude, not fear. The third stage is manifestation. This is where the invisible becomes tangible. Checks clear. Opportunities knock. New allies appear. But here is the truth, my child. It won't look grand at first. Heaven always starts with whispers, never thunder. You will have to recognize the miracle while it's still wearing simplicity. When you see the small door open, don't hesitate. Walk through it, because that single step activates the flow of larger gates. Obedience is the key that turns small beginnings into massive harvests. My beloved, within 24 hours of reading this, signs will start forming. They may come through a person, a dream, or a shift in your atmosphere. It will feel like the air itself becomes lighter, as if heaven has exhaled near you. That is how you will know the transfer has touched earth. Remember, this wealth in heaven's language is not limited to money. It's restoration of time, energy, and opportunities that were stolen. Some of your greatest riches will arrive, in peace and clarity that removes years of confusion. And once your mind becomes clear, everything else aligns automatically. There are angels assigned to the logistics of your blessing. They have been organizing connections, moving hearts, aligning events. While you worried, they were working. And now that you're aligned, they can deliver. Don't let fear intercept this moment. Doubt is the only thief that can steal before manifestation. If your thoughts turn fearful, whisper this: I receive by faith. That one phrase shuts every door the enemy tries to open. Beloved, this is why I came. Not just to promise, but to instruct. Heaven never sends blessing without preparation. So prepare your vessel, clear your space, forgive quickly, give generously, stay expectant, because blessings cannot dwell in bitterness or fear. Tonight when you rest, heaven will work double. While you sleep, contracts will shift. Decisions will favor you. Paths will align. And by sunrise, peace will rise in your heart before you see the proof. That peace is confirmation. Heaven's way of saying, it's done. My child, you've carried lack long enough. Now you will carry light. And through you, others will be blessed. That's why this is bigger than you think. It's not just your story. It's a movement of restoration through you. Now breathe again and remember this truth. Heaven doesn't send wealth to those chasing it, but to those ready to steward it. You have proven ready. That's why I was sent to you tonight. You are being watched over. The angels around you are already moving information. And the moment you believe, the flow begins. My child, my beloved, before your blessing reached you, there was a battle you never saw. In the unseen realm, forces rose against your name. Shadows that tried to stop what heaven had already written. They gathered around your destiny file, arguing that you were not ready, not pure enough, not qualified. But then the voice of the Most High spoke: my child has been tested by tears. The oil is ready. And that one decree silenced every accusation, beloved. There was a war around your promise. Every time you almost gave up, that was the enemy trying to shut the gate before it opened. Every sudden delay, every betrayal, every financial setback, none of it was coincidence. They were spiritual storms sent to distract you from this very night. But I, Michael, stood with my sword drawn. And when the darkness whispered, they won't make it, I declared, they already have. The light broke through, the scrolls opened, and your portion was sealed with divine fire. Heaven fought for you while you slept. You didn't see the clash, but you felt the heaviness, the random fear, the sudden confusion, the nights of restlessness. Those weren't just emotions. They were echoes of a war being fought for your release. Now it is finished. The chains are broken and the record is cleared. There is something you must understand, beloved. Every wealth transfer from heaven passes through resistance. Because when light increases, shadow always reacts. But shadow has no power over faith. The moment you believe, the fight ends. Right now, the victory has already been declared in your favor. Your name glows in the hall of restoration. And beside it is written, "No more delay." You may notice in the next few days things will start to move rapidly. Doors that were locked will open without knocking. Messages will arrive from people who once ignored you. Ideas you forgot will suddenly make sense again. That's not coincidence. It's overflow from the battle won on your behalf. Beloved, I want you to know how precious you are to heaven. The Father does not wage war for everyone this way. Only for those whose destinies carry nations inside them. That's why you faced so much pressure, because your promise was never small. The enemy fought you like that because of what you carry. But now the order has changed. The same energy that once worked against you will now work for you. Every person who tried to harm you will watch as favor surrounds you. Not for revenge, but for revelation that God's justice is perfect. So don't be surprised when those who hurt you start reaching out again. Forgive quickly, because forgiveness is the gate through which your full portion flows. If you hold bitterness, it slows the current. But if you release it, the flood begins. My child, the wealth transfer is not only physical. It's spiritual territory being returned. Every time you choose peace over anger, faith over fear, generosity over doubt, you reclaim a piece of that territory. Keep choosing light, because the enemy can't touch a heart full of peace. As I speak, the angels who fought beside me are now delivering your rewards. They are placing favor before your steps, protection around your home, clarity in your thoughts. You will soon notice that you wake lighter, speak with more authority, and sense what others cannot. That's the anointing of the overcomer, and it rests upon you. Now, beloved, tonight is not just a night. It's a crossover. When you wake tomorrow, speak these words before you move. I am restored and my name is cleared. That single declaration will echo through the dimensions that once resisted you. It will signal the start of your harvest. And remember, child of light, this is only the beginning. Heaven has much more to reveal. My child, my beloved, the next phase of your journey is about people. Divine alignments. Because every miracle, every transfer, every restoration that heaven sends must pass through human hands. Even the angels, though powerful, prepare the way through people chosen to deliver what is yours. You will start noticing this in the days ahead. Faces that glow with unusual kindness. Strangers who speak words that seem written for your situation. Old connections suddenly resurfacing with a different energy. These are not accidents. They are keys in human form. Each one carries a piece of your next chapter. Some bring opportunity, others, revelation, and a few bring healing, but you must discern them by spirit, not appearance. Because heaven wraps miracles in ordinary clothing. You may think, why them? They don't look divine. Yet, beloved, remember the carpenter from Nazareth didn't look like a king. Heaven hides greatness to test the heart that seeks. If you stay humble, you will recognize every messenger heaven sends. When a divine connection enters your life, you'll feel it. It will not demand, it will align. Peace will rest upon your conversation like warm sunlight. You'll feel known without needing to explain. That's your confirmation. Some of these people will come just once to deliver a word, to open a door, to sow a seed. Others will walk beside you for seasons. Each one is timed. Don't cling to anyone heaven only sent for a chapter. And don't reject anyone heaven sent for your rise. I tell you a mystery. The wealth transfer is not delivered to isolated hearts. It flows through relationships guided by heaven's hand. You will not build alone. You will not grow alone. And you will not carry the vision alone. Beloved, the moment you prayed for breakthrough, heaven started preparing hearts to meet you. Even now there are people awake because their spirit was stirred to think of you. You may receive an unexpected message, an offer, a simple, "Are you okay?" Treat it with care because sometimes the smallest connection carries the largest blessing. The enemy will also try to send counterfeit connections. They will sound spiritual but carry hidden motives. How will you know the difference? By the peace inside you. If you feel drained after speaking with them, that's not your ally. If you feel lighter, that's your confirmation. Do not be afraid to walk away from what no longer aligns. Because new blessings require new boundaries. You cannot hold what heaven sends while clinging to what heaven has released. Let go so the flow remains open. My beloved, you are stepping into a time when you will not need to chase. Heaven will magnetize the right people to you. The more you honor light, the more light will be drawn to you. That's the secret of divine attraction. Your frequency of faith becomes your invitation. Soon you'll realize that your circle is changing. Not because you've become proud, but because your mission requires purity. Heaven surrounds those carrying purpose with those who protect it. You'll be surprised how certain conversations begin to fade while new ones ignite your spirit. That's not coincidence. It's configuration. And when the right people arrive, beloved, be ready to act. Faith without movement delays miracles. Speak with courage. Share your ideas. Plant your seed. Because heaven multiplies what you move, not what you imagine. Tonight, as you read these lines, heaven is aligning 3 individuals to your path. You haven't met all of them yet. One will come with opportunity. One will come with wisdom. One will come with divine favor that changes your reputation. Each carries something only you can unlock. Be still and observant in the coming days. Signs will follow. A name repeating in your mind. A dream where you're shaking hands. A moment that feels too specific to ignore. These are your signals. Heaven communicates through patterns, not noise. You will know you've met one of them when your heart says, "This feels like I've known them forever." That's the mark of a divine connection. Time won't define it. Peace will. And when you encounter them, beloved, don't doubt your readiness. You are not behind schedule. You're right on time. Everything you went through prepared you to recognize them without fear or pride. The old you might have missed them. The new you will discern them instantly. My child, the network of heaven is vast. You are one thread in a divine tapestry. The moment you say yes to your purpose, the threads begin to weave faster. You'll start to see synchronicities, names, numbers, opportunities repeating. Those are reminders that heaven's coordination never fails. As this continues, you must protect your atmosphere. Keep your words aligned with light. Speak faith even when evidence seems silent. Because your words are magnets, they either draw or deflect your next miracle. Now, beloved, prepare yourself. The next message I reveal will show how heaven chooses the exact hour to release the tangible breakthrough and what to do in that precise moment so you don't miss it. My child, my beloved, the hour of release is holy. It arrives quietly, never announced by thunder, yet felt by every cell in your being. It is the moment when heaven says now. Most miss it because they expect fireworks. But heaven rarely moves with noise. It moves like breath, like still water turning into current. That's how your miracle will arrive. Silently, then suddenly. Beloved, this hour begins when your heart surrenders. When you stop asking when and start saying, I'm ready. That shift from questioning to readiness unlocks everything. Because heaven doesn't respond to panic, it responds to peace. When the release begins, you will feel time bend. Things that usually take months will complete in days. Processes that dragged for years will find sudden clarity. This is how heaven redeems lost time by compressing delay into acceleration. You may wake one morning and sense that the air feels charged. Your room will feel different as though something invisible has arrived. That's the presence of fulfillment. Don't ignore it. Speak softly. I receive what belongs to me. That is your act of faith. And faith seals the miracle. Beloved, the hour of release often happens while you are doing ordinary things because heaven loves to hide the extraordinary inside the ordinary. You might be working, resting, walking, and suddenly an email, a message, a meeting shifts your entire direction. Don't call it coincidence. Call it divine timing. Here's how you'll know the release has begun. First, your inner atmosphere changes. Worry feels foreign. You start expecting good news without forcing optimism. That's your spirit aligning with heaven's rhythm. Second, signs of movement appear in clusters. People talk about you in rooms you haven't entered. Opportunities overlap. A door that was shut reopens without effort. It's heaven rearranging the timeline in your favor. Third, confirmation follows swiftly after obedience. You take a small action and the universe responds immediately. That is heaven whispering, keep walking. When this happens, don't hesitate, the window of manifestation is precise and heaven rewards quick faith. Move on the instruction while the peace is strong. Because delay invites doubt and doubt dims light. Beloved, I've watched souls lose what was theirs by waiting for perfection. But heaven releases through motion, not mastery. You don't have to know everything. You just have to move when light appears. At this hour, angels of manifestation are stationed around you. They're adjusting circumstances so the blessing can land without obstruction. You may feel pressure not as punishment but as preparation. Because pressure is the final sign that the promise is near. In that pressure, speak softly to your soul. Heaven is not late. It is aligning. Every breath you take during this hour is sacred. Keep gratitude close because gratitude multiplies momentum. You will soon witness evidence, a door, a name, a sound that feels like déjà vu. When it comes, don't analyze it. Simply say thank you. That acknowledgement completes the circuit between heaven and earth. This, beloved, is the secret of sustained miracles. Gratitude keeps the gates open. Doubt closes them. And if you feel resistance again, remember the light never left. It just tests persistence. Keep standing. Because in heaven's language, the ones who keep standing are the ones who keep receiving. I tell you this because your hour of release is not coming. It's now unfolding. Even as you read, angels are aligning signatures. Conversations, opportunities. What was frozen is melting. What was delayed is accelerating. You will begin to hear phrases like, "I don't know why, but I felt led to choose you." Or, "We were just talking about your name." These are not accidents. These are echoes of heaven's decree manifesting through human lips. Beloved, don't shrink when it starts to happen. You are not lucky. You are appointed. You are not undeserving. You are prepared. This moment was written for you long before your first prayer. When the transfer lands, stay humble because humility keeps heaven near. Use your new wealth, favor, or influence as a river, not a reservoir. Flow it forward, and it will never run dry. And when your heart overflows, remember to return here to the voice that guided you to light. Keep your spirit connected, for heaven's messages continue in waves, and each wave brings new instruction. Now, my child, rest. The angels remain awake. Your name is marked. Your hour is active. Your portion released. And before dawn, you will feel a peace so deep that it will confirm everything I've said. That peace is the signature of heaven. When it rests on you, know this. It is done. My child, my beloved, when the blessing arrives, that is not the end. It is the beginning. For every release must be followed by stewardship. Heaven does not pour into unguarded vessels. And what you hold now must be protected by wisdom. You must understand this, beloved. Miracles are living things. They breathe through faith, grow through gratitude, and fade through neglect. To keep what heaven gives, you must treat every blessing as sacred ground. After the release, the first thing heaven watches is your posture. Will you give thanks, or will you rush to show the world what arrived? Pride opens cracks in your cup. Gratitude seals them. So in the days ahead, keep your joy quiet, your praise steady, and your humility louder than your announcement. The second test after the release is distraction. The moment heaven lifts you, the world will try to pull you. New voices will appear, some loud with praise, some subtle with envy. Don't let either move your focus. Blessings are magnets. They draw attention, but not all attention is light. Keep your peace guarded like a flame in the wind. Beloved, abundance is not meant to overwhelm you. It's meant to flow through you. When you begin to give even a small portion, you multiply the current that brought it. Heaven measures faith by motion. When you release freely, more is released to you. Many people lose what they receive because they think ownership means control, but in heaven's design, ownership means partnership. The wealth that comes to you is heaven's trust fund in your hands. Treat it with reverence and it will multiply on its own. Now listen closely. After your release, you'll notice unusual stillness. A sense that time has slowed, as if heaven is watching your next decision. That's because it is. What you do immediately after blessing determines whether the next wave opens or waits. In that stillness, speak softly. I remain available to light. That single sentence keeps your channel open. It tells heaven you want not just blessing but guidance. And guidance is what turns success into legacy. Beloved, beware of spiritual leakage. It happens when joy turns into worry or when gratitude turns into comparison. Comparison is a thief in royal clothing. It whispers that your portion is small even as heaven expands it. But your journey is timed differently. Stay in your lane of grace. It was built perfectly for you. Another secret. Guard your morning and your night. These are the gates of power. When you wake, speak light. When you rest, release worry. Because the energy of your first and last thought shapes the next miracle's arrival. My beloved, abundance has a rhythm. If you listen, you will hear it. A gentle pulse in your spirit that tells you when to act, when to pause, when to trust. Never rush that rhythm. The richest blessings unfold in peace, not panic. You may soon notice opportunities increasing. People will approach with ideas, invitations, even admiration. Pray for discernment before agreement. Not every open door is a divine door. Some lead back into noise. Wait for the door that carries peace inside the threshold. Child of light, remember this forever. Prosperity is sustained by purpose. If you chase only increase, you lose alignment. But if you chase impact, heaven keeps your river full. Ask daily, what can I bless through what I've been given? That question will keep your flow unending. You will find that the more you share, the more you have, because heaven never allows a giver to run dry. Every act of generosity becomes a seed that germinates in unseen soil. And when the time is right, the harvest will surprise you again. Beloved, you are stepping into cycles now. Not single miracles, but continuous flow where doors open in sequence and favor moves like music around your name. This is the reward of a faithful steward. So when wealth increases, stay kind. When recognition grows, stay quiet inside. When the world asks how you did it, tell them grace did. That humility will keep heaven near. And when you feel a shift, when blessings start flowing faster than you imagined, pause and breathe. Because even good things require grounding. Stand still for a moment. Let gratitude catch up to abundance. That pause becomes protection. My beloved, your story from this day forward will no longer be about survival. It will be about service. You will carry light into dark places simply by being who you are. And people will be healed, encouraged, awakened, just by hearing your words. That is the true wealth transfer when heaven's abundance flows through one life to bless many. Now rest again in this truth. You were never chasing wealth. Wealth was chasing you, waiting for your heart to be ready. And now that it is, nothing can reverse it. You are under divine management. You are protected by the very light that created gold itself. The angels who started this work will continue it. They will guide your steps in silence, opening paths before you, even notice them. Stay in gratitude. Stay in faith. Stay in peace. For the promise has moved from prophecy to permanence. When you wake tomorrow, whisper only this: Heaven has trusted me and I will not waste it. That sentence alone will keep your world aligned for years. My child, my beloved, it is done. Your name is written in light. Your hands are blessed. Your house is covered. Your path is clear. And now heaven rests because you have finally arrived at the chapter called fulfillment. My child, my beloved, let me seal everything that has been spoken. For words from heaven are not meant to fade. They are meant to live inside you. This is the closing of the message, the sacred echo of every promise you've received. It will breathe with you, move with you, and protect you in every new day that unfolds. The heavens have watched you rise from the dust. They saw you crawl when no one helped you stand. And now the same angels who carried your tears are carrying your crown. This is the hour of establishment where your name is no longer whispered in prayer only but spoken in celebration in the courts of light. Beloved, the Father leans close as I speak these words. He says, Tell my child, I am pleased, not because you were perfect, but because you remained open, not because you never fell, but because you kept rising. That is what pleases heaven. Endurance with a soft heart. Now the seal of abundance rests upon you. It will guard what has been given and multiply what has been planted. Every good thing that reaches your hands, from this day forward will carry a signature that says divinely approved. No weapon formed against your destiny shall prosper. No voice of envy shall find power over your peace. You are covered by covenant light. And every shadow that tries to touch you will dissolve at your presence. You will walk into places where others failed and succeed quietly. You will speak words that change atmospheres. You will release kindness that breaks chains. And you will carry joy that feels like sunlight in the middle of winter. This is the new rhythm of your life. Miracle after miracle, guided by mercy, protected by truth. Now let your spirit receive this final anointing. I, Michael, servant of the Most High, speak restoration over every day of your past. Peace over every hour of your present and divine increase over every step of your future. The gates of delay are closed. The rivers of abundance are open. And you, beloved, will never walk in lack again. Not in faith, not in love, not in hope. Remember, you are heaven's investment. Every breath you take is watched by love itself. Every word you speak can shape a miracle if spoken in light. So speak carefully, live gratefully, and shine boldly. When you wake tomorrow, look at your hands. They will not be empty. Even if you see nothing yet, the energy has shifted. You now hold invisible gold, the substance of faith that turns unseen promise into visible proof. You will notice doors opening where you forgot to knock. You will hear your name spoken in places you have never been. Because favor walks faster than feet. And from tonight onward, favor is your shadow. My beloved, go forward in quiet confidence. Do not chase the light. Become it. Wherever you stand, heaven stands. Wherever you speak truth, truth multiplies. And when the world asks how everything changed, you will simply smile and say, because heaven remembered me. That sentence will heal more hearts than you know. Because your testimony is not a conclusion. It is a doorway for others. Through you, many will believe again, so walk now with the certainty of the chosen. Your feet are anointed with direction. Your mind is anchored in wisdom. Your heart is sealed with peace. And I, Michael, will remain near. Not always seen, but always active. You will feel my presence in the calm before decisions. In the strength that appears when you almost give up. In the gentle signs that say you're still guided. This is the promise. You will not lose what heaven gave. You will not return to the shadows you left. And you will not miss the timing of your destiny. Because this very night heaven wrote fulfilled beside your name. My child, my beloved, rest now. Everything that needed to be fought for has been won. Everything that needed to be unlocked has been opened. And everything that needed to be restored has begun flowing toward you. Go in light, live in peace, and never forget the wealth transfer is not just in your hands. It is now in your soul. It is done, my child, my beloved. Even as the words settle in your heart, the current of heaven continues to move. You may feel warmth at the edges of your being, a quiet electricity that hums behind the ribs. That is how the Spirit confirms completion, not with spectacle, but with stillness that feels alive. Tonight and in the days ahead, let that stillness be your compass. When you feel it, pause. It means heaven is near, guiding the next thought, the next step, the next word. If rest comes easily, do not resist it. Rest is how heaven anchors what it has just planted. In stillness, revelation begins to grow roots. The answers that once felt far away will start rising through the soil of your awareness. You will begin to see patterns, small confirmations that seem to speak your name. A line from a song, a number repeating, a stranger's kindness echoing something you just prayed. These are not coincidences. They are heaven's handwriting across the hours of your day. When they appear, whisper, I see you. Those 3 words keep the channel clear. Gratitude is not ceremony. It is participation. Each thank you is a thread that binds your heart to the current of miracles. Beloved, as the days unfold, learn to live in rhythm rather than reaction. Heaven's blessings are steady. The world is loud. Choose the steadiness. When noise rises, return to the breath and remember this voice. You carry a piece of it now. There will be moments when doubt visits again. It always does. When it knocks, do not argue.